Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, you're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio on Leadership Podcast. Leadership is that program that brings you the latest developments in Nigeria's business and economy cycles and issues of businesses around the world. My name is Innocent Odo, and today we're going to look at a very critical issue bothering this country. It might interest you to know that yesterday, the convoy, the advanced convoy of President Muhammadu Buhari, preparatory to his visit to Katsina, his home state, was attacked by suspected bandits. Or is it terrorists now? That in due course, we shall all discover that. Now, later in that evening, the Custodial Centre in Abuja, a suburb of Abuja, Kuje to be precise, was also attacked, and inmates were released yet again by suspected terrorists, and hardened criminals and hardened terrorists were also released from this Custodial Centre. Now, it has become incumbent on the Nigerian authorities and all stakeholders in the economy to utilize digital technology in tackling insecurity. And that is our focus today on Money Radio. I'm not alone in the studio. I am here with an ICT expert with whom I'm going to do justice to this very important topic. It has become a very, very serious matter, if not even a sinister motive by some elements within our society to compromise our security in order to undermine our sovereignty. And so we're going to look at this, all the variables that will have to do with data collecting, intelligence gathering, and of course, the overall employment of technology to tackle this insecurity that is bedeviling this nation. I'm hereby welcome Haniel Jafar.
Good afternoon.
I just introduced you as ICT expert. Now we are in serious crisis.
True.
Yesterday, of course, you know that the advanced convoy of Mr. President heading to his home state of Katsina to celebrate the Eid festival was attacked. There were reports that some people were killed, that there were also some, they were injured, but all the same, that is a very dangerous scenario to attack the convoy of the president of the country. That is an attack on the sovereignty of the nation itself.
True.
Haniel, we have dealt with this issue of insecurity for long now, yet we are not arrived at any conclusive solution to this problem.
Okay, if you say we, are you speaking about we in the studio or we the country? Yeah, but generally, it has always been a concern. We've talked about this over and over again. Technology at this point has never been it has never been something that you sideline in cases like this.
Yes.
You get. And we've on several occasions in this same program we have analyzed this with profiled solutions on how we can use technology to curtail some of these challenges.
Yes.
But it seems as though probably we are not maybe because we are not at that level, and it seems our voices are not being heard. But you can't run away from technology at this point in time.
Indeed.
You can't. We are in a fix. We've been boxed to a corner where you can't do anything without technology. No matter whatsoever intelligence you have, even the intelligence, you can also embed technology into it. Because there is human intelligence that tends not to be very useful now, because human intelligence before now would require an intelligence officer, to be within that environment for that intelligence to be captured. Now, situation whereby the intelligence is no longer being discussed in a social gathering or a public gathering, how do you gather that intelligence? It means intelligence has to go to the cyberspace. That's what brings about cyber intelligence.
Yes.
These terrorist guys, we can't rule out the possibility that it's a coordinated attack.
Yeah.
Both the one in Katsina and the one that happened in Abuja. We can't rule out the possibility that it's a coordinated attack. So that means they must have discussed with themselves, knowing when to attack, how to attack. Where did this discussion go? Where do they sit down to discuss these things? Because you can't say that they were in Katsina. They had a meeting they had a physical meeting in Kaduna, which is the border town between Katsina and Abuja. You can't say that they had a peace committee. It means that there is a place where they used to hold their meeting that is not physical. You get. So it means we have to embed cyber intelligence into this. We've talked about these things on several occasions. These guys reside in the what's it called, in the bush, in forests. Because they reside there, you can't send soldiers, foot soldiers, to go to the forest to go and survey these guys. Where's the place of drone? We've mentioned it in this program that in future robots humanoid robots are going to replace armies. Unmanned area vehicle, that's drones, are going to replace air force. You get. So why don't we start embedding this into our security architecture? How many drones does the Nigerian Navy have? How many do we have anything called robots as military or paramilitary? Do we have any robotic entity that can be in the forefront, knowing fully well that yes, they are killed? No matter the amount that you use in getting a robot, you can't quantify the amount to a human life.
Yes.
Because so we have to start embedding this into our security architecture. We have to start using drones to carry out some of this intelligence. We can just imagine as huge as Abuja is, we don't have a unified emergency contact.
That is
you don't have a unified. Police will give you their own contact for emergency. Fire service will give you their own contact for emergency. Road safety will give you their own contact for emergency. And there is no unified. Even Nigeria as a country is supposed to have a unified call center number.
Yes.
That makes it easier. That makes it easier for you to manage emergencies. You can't just sit and you're waiting for. How do you coordinate? And then there is no inter-agency collaboration. You get. Police and road safety will be having their own internal battles, and because of that, it will prevent them from collaborating in the field. So we need to have a unified number, a number that is known by everybody, easy to dial. You don't need a call. You don't need credit card to dial that number. It should be toll-free number. You get. Now it's easier now. Every other agency should now have their own numbers with that central call center. They now know how to redirect your call to whatsoever challenges you're having. If it's the police, they know how to redirect your call to the police. What part of the police? As you're calling that emergency number, you're also calling alongside with your location.
But Haniel, before you go any further, please, these things are highly technical, highly professional. The question has always been, we have professional security organizations and security outfits made up of men who have trained, within the system, and they could understand intelligence. They could understand how to deploy intelligence in order to achieve a particular result. Now, the issue of collaboration among all the intelligence outfits within the country seems to be a challenge, just like you raised. Okay. Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Police, Nigerian DSS, and the rest of them. Now, is there not any kind of central coordinating unit of these intelligent networks from all these agencies that can tap from the brilliance, if you like, expertise of all these agencies to be able to have a central working mechanism that can actually detect some of these problems and be able to nip them in the bud?
Our security architecture. It is our security architecture. We can't rule that out. NIA,
yes,
DIA, and DSS, they are under an NSA, Office of the National Security Advisor.
Yes.
Police, customs, prisons, and the likes, they are under Interior. They respond. They are answerable to Minister of Interior.
Yes.
Now we have what's it called? Custom now saying that it is going under finance because it's an income revenue generation agency, so it has to be under finance, because the security architecture does not give a central role. This thing was what was happening in the US before the 9/11 attack.
Yes,
because there was no inter-agency collaboration. That was what brought about the Department of Homeland Security. Before then, there was no Department of Homeland Security. Then I say, for them to be inter-agency collaboration, let us set up a department that coordinates all security outfits. So every security outfit is directly under the Department of Homeland Security.
Yes.
So that has been able to help them manage that situation, that the challenge of inter-agency collaboration, as long as it relates to security matters. So we can't rule out the place of DSS in the area of intelligence collection as long as Nigeria is concerned. We can't rule out the place of DIA in terms of intelligence collection as long as external force coming to Nigeria is concerned. We also can't rule out the place of NIA. They are all intelligence collecting agencies. But now only the intelligence collecting agencies are responsible to answer. Yet now the police, which also has its own intelligence unit under it, we have a law and drug enforcement agency which has its own intelligence unit under it, and some other paramilitary that also have their own intelligence units under them. Now they are all responsible to Minister of Interior. The security architecture does not align well. We have to ensure that we design a system that everybody knows what role to play, everybody knows who's responsible to, and there is a design architecture that ensures that everybody collaborates with each other, even while whether they have an agency that they have an agency that they are reporting to or not. There should be a security architecture that ensures that all that happens. There are different meetings that hold. Most of those meetings hold once in a month. Security meetings, intelligence meetings that hold. Most of them hold once in a week. But this would not help us to solve the challenge that we are.
And the problem is just like we said, we don't have that central coordinating unit, just like the Homeland Security in the US. And the necessity of the security problems that the US had at that time, was the reason the American government set up that Homeland Security, and they have done marvelously. In the years, that succeeded the attacks. Now we are facing this kind of dilemma. Now, for the president's convoy to be attacked in such a brazen manner, not only that. Later in the evening of that day, we're hearing again that prisons, they say it's now Custodial Centre, was attacked, and the attackers took their time. Of course, need a good job, a great job, just a neat job in quotes, attacking that facility, and of course, freeing more terrorists who are actually held in custody there. The terrorists have now been freed. Those who didn't want to gain their freedom probably are those who are politically, political persons there. I understand that Abakari is being held in that custodial center. So probably these are the only ones who felt that it is not even safe for them to leave the center at that moment in time. Therefore, this issue of digital intelligence gathering, digital technology, yes, even the prisons on their own, even if there's no coordinating center, couldn't it have been possible for the Nigerian Custodial Centre to have actually deployed intelligence, data collection, digital intelligence, to be able to forestall this type of attacks?
It's just sad because there are so many things wrong. There are so many things that's wrong as long as our security architecture is concerned. You won't be able to effectively enforce certain things if you don't have database.
Just
you won't be able to now. Can the prison clearly come out to tell us that okay, that's the correctional center? Can they clearly come out to tell us that okay, we have 600? We are just hearing numbers.
Yes,
600 persons escaped. 360 have been rearrested. We are still 200 and something are still among it. We have 65 that are. Who are the 65 that are terrorists? What are their names? Ibrahim Sokoto, is it Ibrahim Sokoto? Kabiru Sokoto, was he there? Those are the kind of questions
those are the kind of
questions we should be asking. it's not about numbers. Anybody can quote numbers, but we need details of these persons that have escaped, because that's going to probably make us know who's next.
Interesting.
Yes. So we don't have database.
Good. I think there's a whole lot to this whole thing, because it's becoming a very serious problem, and there's somehow failure of intelligence. Can we read failure of intelligence here? Or rather that there's an absolute negligence?
It's either there is a failure of intelligence or there is an insider.
That's sinister motive then.
You get? So
Yes.
it's either we fail in our area of intelligence as the security, the intelligence agencies that are responsible to gathering that level of intelligence has failed in their role, or there is an insider. Because how did they know that the convoy will be leaving today?
Yes.
How did they know what time they're going to get to that location? Certain questions that we should be asking. You get? Now, as regards the prison, they started the attack 10 p.m., past 10, thereabouts. And the attack lasted for over 2 hours.
Yes.
You get? So that means these guys took their time. What was the response? Do we have first responders? How have they trained? If they responded, how did they respond? And even with their response, and these guys were able to still free 600%, it means that there is a level of we will not begin to question their level of capability. Because if we have first responders and the responders got there on time, and 600 persons still escape, it means that there's a whole lot of things that we need to address.
A whole lot of things we need to address, Haniel. Another problem, another issue that disturbs the Nigerian people is this. Now, this is not the first time custodial centers have come under attack. We have had that in I think Edo State, where about over 1,000 inmates were released. Till today, I don't think we have had any statement again whether those all the other inmates that were released actually were rearrested or they came back on their own. We don't have that record. I might be wrong, but I don't think we have that record. Now in Imo State, the same thing. Custodial Center was attacked, but the whole scenario is disturbing, because you see how the attack happened. The custodial centers are usually within the security perimeters of other security agencies. You could have the police there, you could have an army force there, you could have any other security agency surrounding those areas. So, but for terrorists to come in, attack, and comfortably for 2 hours, you didn't hear any response, any counterfire, and all that. That means that the sinister intentions of some people within is actually snowballing into something that we may not necessarily be able to handle. Do we now seek help outside? Daniel, European Union is there with the intelligence. The Americans are there. The British are there. Do we seek intelligence from
the
those
question
people?
we should ask is: are we willing to accept their intelligence? You get? You can't rule out the place where they offer to give you intelligence.
Yes.
And you decide that I don't want your intelligence. This is not the first time this is happening.
Yes.
And even though we say we don't pray so, but there is every likelihood that it's not going to be the last time.
Yeah, definitely.
You get? So what have we learned when it happened in Imo? Was there any analysis as to what happened, how it happened, what were the lessons learned? When it happened in Edo, was there any analysis as regards that? As it has happened in Abuja, what are the things we're supposed to learn to ensure that it does not repeat itself? If you want to even review this, you'll find out that the strategy at which they use in attacking the Imo is the same thing they use in attacking the Edo, and it's still the same thing they're using to attack the Abuja.
Yes.
Because we are not learning from our mistakes. We are not learning from our mistakes. There are technologies that can help us. There are things we can build into these things. There are building technologies. We're not even talking about digital technology. There are building technologies that will make jailbreak practically difficult. Because do we even have category of prisons? In Western world, there are maximum security prisons.
Yeah.
There are regular prisons. There are different categories and levels of prison. Do we have any? What differentiates the Edo prison or Edo Correctional Center and Abuja Correctional Center? Is it because it's based in Abuja? Or Kirikiri, is it because it's based in Lagos? No, that's not the case. We should have things that differentiate a prison from each other. And one of the things that can be used to differentiate the prison from each other is the level of sophistication in the building. And the difficulty one will engage when the person wants to break out of it.
Very, very interesting. We have been talking about utilizing digital technologies to tackle insecurity in Nigeria. And I've been here in the studio with an ICT expert, Hanel Jafaru, doing justice to this very important topic. It's very instructive to note that the convoy, the advanced convoy of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, came under severe attacks on its in preparation for the President's visit to Katsina State, his home state, for the Sallah celebrations. And that's an attack on the sovereignty of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And also, as we are also disturbed with the issue of the assault on the Custodial Centre in Kuje near Abuja here, where suspected terrorists attacked the facility and freed inmates, some of which are hardened criminals. We do not know the details yet of the people and the identity of these hardened terrorists who have been released into the public. And we only hope that the public will be cautious enough to act according to the security measures provided, so that they will be free from some of these dangerous elements that are now being unleashed on the people in Abuja, especially and the environs. So it's on that note that we ask the Nigerian people to be more security conscious in the way they go about their normal businesses, because there are wild security threats going on as a result of the release of these elements within our society. So we advise that you take some security precautions, know where to go at the right time, inform people, your family, your friends, wherever you are, so that we will, in fact, together fight this menace that has come to, scourge us in this very country. And so that is all we can take on this segment of Money Radio. Remember that Money Radio brings you everything about business and investment. And so that's why we'll talk about security, because security, if we have security, will attract more investment in the country. It's on that note that we call it a day on this program, and we promise to bring you a very fresh edition when next we come. Thank you and remain blessed.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.